Inflation has shot up to 8.5%. There's a serious war in Europe, and the Fed has been creating money hand over fist. And still, the price of gold has barely risen over the last 2 years. This video asks, if not now, when? Today, the price of gold is $1,850 an ounce, slightly lower than the peak it set more than 10 years ago in 2011, and 10% lower than its all-time high in August 2020. This video begins by examining how the price of gold has moved up and down as inflation has risen and fallen over the last 5 decades. It then discusses what's likely to happen next, now that the Fed is determined to bring the inflation rate back down to its 2% inflation target. In May 2020, MacroWatch published a video called "Gold is Not a Sure Bet." It stated that the price of gold probably would go higher since the Fed was printing so much money, but it warned not to bet the farm on it. That video explored the big moves up and down in inflation and in the price of gold from 1968. I'm going to insert a 6-minute clip from that video here because this history serves as a warning about how far the price of gold can fall when inflation begins to abate. Gold is a hedge against inflation. The price of gold goes up when people fear there will be significantly higher rates of inflation, but it goes down when people become less concerned about inflation. This video will discuss how and why the price of gold has moved up and down since 1970. Okay, this chart shows the gold price. It's the price of gold on the London bullion market, weekly data, going back to 1968. So, the price of gold was $35 an ounce in August 1970. By December 1974, it had shot up to $193. Up 450%. That was because of the breakdown of the Bretton Woods system in 1971 and the inflation caused by the first oil shock in 1973. So in this chart we have the gold price again, but also the inflation rate, the consumer price inflation rate, the bars, which are measured in the right-hand scale. So there was 12% inflation at the end of 1974, but inflation fell to 5.5% by September 1976, and consequently, the price of gold fell 46% to $105. The second oil shock drove inflation up to 14.6% by 1980, and gold zoomed up to $695, a 562% increase from the 1976 low. The inflation rate peaked there at 14.6%.